Hey guys, this is gonna be my second video. Basically, this video is gonna be the first chapter. And the first chapter is called "My Real Eyes Realize." So, what am I talking about right here? My real eyes realize. So, this chapter is basically about the introduction of how I came to realize everything. So, in this chapter, I'm basically telling you my experience. And so I've come to realize this, that our eyes are created from our knowledge. So what I want to explain this is this. If you have the knowledge of what is black, your eyes will be conscious of black on the outside. Okay, so that's why knowledge creates your eyes. So that's why I said my real eyes realize, because the real eyes is the knowledge of God, not the knowledge of good and evil. The knowledge of good and evil makes you have eyes to see what is good and what is evil. And that's why the knowledge we are found upon is creating a world which is good and evil. So, in order for us to have a world that does not have death, we need to remove the knowledge of good and evil, which is from the beginning. The beginning of what? Beginning of accepting the reality that everything is good and evil. And that's why there is someone who is born, which is good, and that's why when someone dies, that's evil right there. So, our eyes are created from our knowledge. Now that I have come to realize the truth, that my real eyes actually opened up, because before I had eyes of just what is good and what is evil. And when I was awakened, it was like I had one eye to see everything in truth, that everything is already eternal. And the experience that I'm describing in the book, it has so much details of my experience, but ultimately what you realize becomes your reality. Okay, so what was the deal for me was I've always been searching for truth, and I would search for truth through religion, trying to find out something is still missing in life. And the missing feeling that I had on the inside was not moving. I had everything perfect around me, and I still felt something missing on the inside. So I cut off everything on the outside. I stopped going to church. I stopped reading the Bible. I stopped everything and felt like I just need to cut off the source on the outside and begin to meditate and figure out what this truth is. And I begin to have an experience on the inside of my spirit to lead me to understanding more about the truth about life. And ultimately, it was coming down to the reason why I existed is because I have a spirit inside of me. Who is this spirit inside of me? It's the spirit of one. And the spirit of one is creating one image you see on the outside. So when you look at yourself in the mirror, what do you see? You see one image form. You don't see two yous. You see one you. Now, if there's one you, it's because there is one spirit in you. And this one spirit in you is what sustains your existence. Because I said earlier in the other video, if I take out your spirit, you are dead. And you need to come to a realization of truth of who your spirit is, or one day the spirit in you will exit out of your body and your soul, and you will die one day. So when I had this awakening experience, it's not just awakening of just knowing that God's living inside of me. It's awakening to understand that the full truth of understanding that once you realize the full truth of how much God is living inside of you, the whole reality of that is to have eternal life. So yes, I am talking about not dying. Yes, I am talking about living for eternal in this life. This is what I'm speaking about. You know, a lot of people are talking about eternal life here and there after you die. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about literally your body is transformed just as your soul's transformed to the perfection of who your spirit is. And if you don't realize who your spirit is, you're always going to look outside. And this is the eyes that I had before. I had eyes on the outside, so my eyes was not seeing the truth of who my identity is, which is The truth is that God's already inside of me. He was inside of me since the beginning of my existence. And the same for you. Since you existed, since you were born, God's Spirit has been inside of you for you. That's the reason why you exist. And if you don't open your eyes to see the amount of truth of that, one day you will not be truth. What am I saying that one day you'll not be truth? One day you will not exist, because what exists is true. So as you're looking at me, I'm true because I'm existing. But if I fail to realize the truth inside of me, one day the Spirit will leave, because the Spirit is a spirit of truth. And this truth has become one in everyone, to have one image, one form, one existence. And you wonder why people are dying. It's because they don't realize the truth inside of them. And if you realize the truth inside of you, by default, the nature of the Spirit of God in you must create a reality for you to be eternal. Because the nature of the Spirit existed before the existence of this world. Before you saw this world existing, the Spirit existed. There's no way that their life can exist without the Spirit. If you disagree, I take out your spirit, you will not exist. It's just simple as that, and so transparent. So in the first chapter, My Real Eyes Realize, is about my experience that I've awakened to understand that this life is the eternal life. No questions about that. And if you don't believe that, you will die. It's that radical. And that's what I've come to understand from my spirit. My spirit has shown me to understand that this life is the eternal life. And if we don't realize it, it won't become our reality. The world is dying because you're creating the source on the outside. The source is not outside. The Spirit is not outside. The Spirit is inside. That's why you have an image. But if you disagree, then the Spirit is going to leave you one day. And guess what? Your image, your body will be dead. It's so simple, but so radical and so amazing for your eyes to open and realize. So that's a little glimpse of my first chapter. I look forward to making more videos. Stay tuned.